This and this is all you need to replace Dropbox and Google Drive. You're gonna use this to make your own cloud. In this video, I just might convince you to stop using Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, whatever it is. Even if you're a business, let's kick that sucker to the curb. I almost pulled a muscle. Most of us pay Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive to host and keep our data in the cloud, giving them control of our data. That feels good, doesn't it? But hey, we do get a little bit of convenience in return, right? We can easily share all these files, and we have the peace of mind that it's always gonna be there and accessible until Google decides it shouldn't be, or they change their prices, or they go down, or they get hacked. All of these things have happened. So the solution is to create your own. Create your own cloud, host your own stuff. Now, this is actually crazy simple. All you're gonna need, seriously, is a computer. It could be a spare laptop with a little external hard drive. It can be a virtual machine, a Docker container. It can be in the cloud, which I know sounds weird, but you're hosting it yourself. It's different, I'll show you. And you're gonna find that Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, they haven't been giving us all the features we deserve. So right now, I'm gonna show you 2 self-hosting features that are kinda gonna blow your mind. They have way more features than Dropbox and Google Drive. Gross. Don't put that gross, that was so corny and dumb. Don't put the last part. So get your coffee ready. We're gonna give you a cloud experience on your own hardware, which that just sounds cool, right? You're building your own cloud in a way, and you're gonna learn a ton along the way. So if you're learning IT, man, this is for you. And if you're not, do it anyway, because this is for you too. Coffee break. And by the way, this is my default route roast. It's my stinking favorite. It's a single origin coffee from Ethiopia. Probably my favorite origin for coffee. It has notes of berry, chocolate, and caramel, and yes, I can taste all of it. You can too. And shout out to FileCloud for sponsoring this video. So now let's talk about what do you need. Well, first of all, you don't need these guys. You're done. Goodbye. Actually, before we talk about what we need, there were 2 options I mentioned. Now, why 2? Well, let's cover that. But first, I just want you to know they're both free. Completely free, but they do target different audiences. For example, our first one we're talking about is FileCloud. They are the sponsor of this video. They do have a free community edition, but their target audience is large companies, enterprises, which is something I love, by the way, because I get to use a tool, the same tool that large companies use. I'll tell you why I love that here in a second. But the second option is NextCloud. NextCloud is pretty cool, but it's more home lab. You probably won't see an enterprise company using this, and that's fine. Both of these have a ton of amazing features. I'm not gonna tell you which one to pick. You're gonna have to figure that out. I'm just gonna show you what they do. Now, let's talk about what you need. To deploy either of these, you got a couple options. Just know it's gonna be pretty easy with an asterisk. You'll see, but you're gonna learn a lot, trust me. Many of you will wanna host this on-prem or in your house, in your business, whatever it is. And that's kind of the main selling point, right? Like, give me my data, no one can have it, it's not leaving my house, unless I can share it securely, but you can't. So for that, you could have a spare laptop, collecting dust in your closet. You can install it on your Windows machine you're using right now, or a Windows server, if you're a nerd like me, or it can go on any Linux server. FileCloud loves Ubuntu 2004 server, LTS. I said all that backwards, that was weird. It can also be a Docker container, so you have a lot of options. Oh, they even have a image for VirtualBox and ESXi. Whichever option you choose, it's really, really simple to get installed. We'll walk through it. Then the other option, I think is more fun, and you're gonna learn a ton, and that's in the cloud. So I know it sounds weird, like we're leaving the cloud, but you're gonna put me back in the cloud, what are you doing? You kinda have more control though, you do have more control. We're gonna put the sucker in AWS, Amazon's cloud, which means we're gonna get to learn a few things about how to do things in the cloud, like EC2 and S3. I'm gonna walk you through the entire thing, but you're gonna end up hosting your own drive in the cloud, your own cloud in the cloud. So my advice, if you wanna play around and have fun and learn a ton, do pick both options, play with it. Now keep in mind that on-prem is gonna be completely free, as long as you have stuff. AWS, they do charge for hosting, because you're not just using your hardware anymore, you're using someone else's hardware, and you gotta rent it. Okay, that's what you need. Oh, I forgot the most important thing, you need coffee. You do, it's required in IT. Everything in IT requires coffee. We're gonna start with FileCloud. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the main reasons I love FileCloud is because they're enterprise. They target large companies. But why do I like that? Well, for me, and I think probably for you too, the reason I build my home lab is so I can kind of pretend to be a company. Cosplaying as a company, right? Because I wanna get hands-on skills and experience with stuff companies might use and then pay me for those skills, right? That's the goal. My home lab is to learn. So any chance I can get to host something in my lab that's enterprise that companies really actually might use, I'm gonna take it. And I love that you can install it on Windows. I think it's probably one of the only host your own cloud solutions out there that install on Windows, which is like why companies love it, right? But yeah, Windows 10 and up, Windows Server 2000 something, I forget what it is. Nick put a thing there for what version it was. Now FileCloud is what's known as an EFS, or an Enterprise File Sharing Solution, EFS. Their goal is to help you make your own private cloud. As a person, as a business, they got your back. An emphasis on the enterprise because it's really, really powerful and really, really secure. That's why they're big in government, finance, and education. Nowadays, data is the name of the game, keeping your data safe and secure, making sure you're not sharing it with someone you shouldn't. I mean, goodness, can you think about a large company that uses Dropbox and trying to control who they share your data with? That's a nightmare. I'm just worried about my 2 kids in there who are using Dropbox and Google Drive, not to mention my employees. Goodness. Now for the community edition, before we install it, let me tell you a few things I love it for and why you might want to install it right now. Of course, you get remote access to your files from anywhere, and it's free. You also have full control of your stuff, of your data, and it's private. And then this is just incredible. I've been wanting this from Google Drive and Dropbox forever, and they just don't do it. They have hyper secure file sharing. And what that means, because that's just a word, right? What that means is when you share a file, password protected. Limit the time it's allowed to be downloaded. Limit the amount of downloads that can occur. Create a file, say you can only download it until next week, and you can only download it one time. That's killer, right? Most solutions you can download an application that'll sync your files back and forth. But you can also, and I don't think anyone else does this, you can mount a share, or you can mount your drive as a network share. And it acts just like it. It's so cool. And if you're like, what are you talking about, Chuck? I'll show you in a second. It's amazing. Now, beyond the community edition, there are some things that they do enterprise that will just you didn't even know was possible. It's crazy. And we'll talk about that just for a moment so you can see what's out there, so you can learn what companies do to protect their data. I think it's important to know that, because a big thing that FileCloud cares about is data governance, putting retention policies on your data, having smart DLP or data leak prevention. They even have zero trust file sharing, antivirus scanning, all kinds of stuff. I'll show you. So now the setup. I'm gonna start with AWS because honestly, it's the most fun. Like really, it's so fun. If you don't care about AWS, if you wanna host this on your own, I will have timestamps. Just jump forward to that point in time stamp. Now, there's one step I'm not gonna repeat, so you'll wanna watch this right now, and that's setting up a FileCloud account and getting your community edition license, which by the way, used to be a paid license for community, used to be $10 a year. Now it's free. So you got nothing to complain about. I mean, I'm sure you can find something, and I'll see it in the comments, won't I? I'm talking to you, buddy. Before you finish hitting enter, take a sip of coffee, take a breath. I'll take my own advice. Much better. So FileCloud account. Let's set that sucker up right now. We're gonna navigate out to ce.filecloud.com. CE for Community Edition. Here we have a lot of the stuff I already showed you. Feel free to peruse that. But we're gonna scroll down and click on Download Now, which is gonna take us to the whole, hey, you need an account thing. So let's get an account. Bernard Hackwell. Personal use. I have read everything. Man, anyone else feel like they're lying when they click that? I didn't read anything, but I do agree. Blindly. Verification code, and we're in. From here, it's pretty simple. We're gonna click on Download Now. Download Now. And then click on Download. It's gonna give you a few options of how you can do this. Right now, we're gonna laser focus in on AWS because it's awesome. Clicking that will take you to the guide, which we're gonna depend on right now, and I'll walk you through. And this will be actually pretty easy. Now, if you've never used AWS before, I am so excited for you. It's so fun. In fact, right now you can sign up for a free tier account, which means you'll get a ton of stuff for free in AWS. You may even be able to set this up for free. So you'll want to head out to aws.amazon.com and get started for free. I'm not gonna walk you through it. I've got other videos on that, but go ahead and set up an account or get logged in if you already have one and meet me back here. Now here we are in the AWS console. It's kind of fun. Don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, but let's navigate through this. First, we're gonna go up here to the Services tab, or button. Click that. From here, we're gonna click on the compute little menu icon right there. And finally, we'll click on EC2, which is their service to create virtual machines in the cloud. Click on that. Now, mental note real quick. Up here at the top right, you'll see what region you're currently in. I'm in North Virginia, which is US East 1. If you're somewhere different, just remember that, write it down, whatever. It'll come in handy here in a bit. Now from here, we're gonna click on Launch Instance. We're gonna create an EC2 virtual machine. Launch Instance, let's name it. And then just below the name, we have the option to search for an Amazon Machine Image, an AMI. We're gonna search for FileCloud right there. Hit enter. Now it's not gonna show you anything until you click on the AWS Marketplace AMIs, right here. Once you click on that, boom, FileCloud's right there. First one is what we want. Click on Select. Now FileCloud is free, Amazon isn't all the time. And it's gonna tell you the server they recommend, the size, and how much it will cost you per hour, which is a T2 median. That's how they refer to the sizing of their virtual machines. The amount of virtual CPUs they give you, RAM, hard drive space. We'll walk through that. But anyways, let's click on Continue. Now with that selected, let's walk through this together. Scroll down just a bit. Here we have our instance type. which they already default selected for us to be T2 medium. Now I'm gonna go with that, but you don't have to. In fact, I've installed this on a smaller version. Especially if you're on the free tier, you can do the T2 micro, which is free tier eligible. You can do that just to try it out, just to have fun. So you're not charged anything at all. And if you're wondering, Chuck, what's the advantage of going T2 medium? It's faster, it can handle more. You're gonna have a better experience going with a larger computer. That's true in everything from gaming to cloud. Next, we have our key pair login. AWS is big on using a key pair to log in. So as opposed to a password, they're gonna want you to have a key that you'll use to unlock to get into their server. And we're gonna create that right now. We're gonna create the lock and key. That's what a key pair is. So we'll create a new key pair. If you already have one, you don't have to create a new one. I'll name this Hackwell. Everything else is fine. I'll say create key pair. And what that will do, you'll notice it downloaded the key, which I'll want to keep and refer to in a minute. Just keep it there, keep it safe. The lock will be on the server. Now that's pretty much it. If we scroll down just a little bit just to make sure everything's good, it looks all good to me. You can add more stuff if you want to, you don't need to. I'm done. From here, we're gonna click on Launch Instance. And we are off to the races. Almost. Yep, it's launching it. It's probably booting it right now. If you wanna see what's going on and start to access it and see all the details, go ahead and click on this link right here, which is your instance ID. Now you don't have to know everything about what I'm talking about to feel comfortable here. It's fine. If this is new for you, let it be new. Like walking into a new house, just explore, have fun, just don't get crazy. I'm gonna click on the link now, and we can see right there in the instance state, mine is still pending. So I'm gonna wait just a second, take a little coffee break for that to go to like booted, ready to go. So with your virtual machine booted, we're gonna scroll on over until we see the public IPv4 DNS name. That's your server's address. That's how you can access it. We're gonna copy that right now, open up a new tab, and paste it. Now, don't you hit enter yet, calm down. Before we hit enter, we're gonna do a / and type in admin and hit enter. Oh yeah, looking good. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, take all out extra stuff out. Just after com, do / install. I like this feature. This will tell you if everything's golden and good. Installation checks. Do you level those check marks? Things look good. Extended checks. Things look good. So anyways, let's get back to the admin. So take all that out. Just after com, type in admin. And let's get logged in. The default login will be admin, and the password will be your instance ID for this machine. So let's go back to AWS, and we scroll over just a little bit. Our instance ID is right here. I'm gonna copy everything, including the I-. Copy that, paste it into the password field, and get logged in. We are in, but hold up, we're hit immediately with a, hey, invalid license file. Do we have one yet? No, we don't have one, let's go grab it. Let's get back to our FileCloud portal that we were in earlier. And notice on step 2, we had the option to get our license. We definitely want that. Let's grab it right now. Click get license, and it downloaded for you. That's all you had to do. So now getting back to AWS, we're gonna click choose file, choose that license file, open it, apply it, and that's it. You've got a fully licensed FileCloud instance. Pretty sick. Now you're immediately hit with a barrage of notifications on the right, and I don't like that. We'll solve those here in a sec, especially the invalid URL. We'll cover that. But let's go ahead and click those away. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Now I'm not gonna show you everything, because there's too much, but I will give you enough to get started to like not be totally lost. I'll give you some breadcrumbs. Now the first thing we wanna cover is storage. And that's the whole point of this entire video, right? Is we wanna store our stuff somewhere else besides Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. I'm getting tired of saying those companies' names. Let's just call them the triad. We're calling them the triad from now on. Okay, currently with this install, I only have about 40 gigabytes or so of data to store, which is not a lot. And the reason for that is because that's how big my hard drive is on the AWS EC2 machine I deployed. If I go over to storage in my AWS console, I can see my volume right there. Now, you might be like, okay, well, that's easy. Just increase the size of that volume. And we could do that, but that wouldn't be the smartest thing, at least not the most economical thing. Increasing your volume size here costs more money than it would be to do something else. And that something else is called S3. S3 is Amazon's storage service, and it's relatively cheap. It's gonna cost you 0.023 cents or dollars, I'm not sure how to refer to that, per gigabyte, which is about the industry standard. And they're only gonna charge you for what you use. If you only got 2 gigabytes of storage up there, it's gonna cost you double of that. Now comparing that to Google or OneDrive or whatever it is, you'll probably get a better deal with Google and all these other companies. But if your goal is to have more control over your data and just have fun with Amazon, this is a pretty good option. Also, if you're a company with large amounts of data, this will end up saving you more money than Google will. And you also have the option, looking at Amazon's price sheet, of going like crazy, because they have different storage tiers. If you didn't know about Amazon S3, I was pricing you the standard tier, which is 0.023 gigabytes per month. You can go for their like infrequent access tier, just stuff you want to store, that's much cheaper. Their glacier tier, which is like crazy, deep archive. Let's do the math on that. If I wanted to store 10 terabytes, so how many zeros is that? That seems right, doesn't it? No, it doesn't seem right. 10 terabytes will cost you $10 a month just to archive your stuff. That's pretty cool. And you have the option of doing that. You don't have that option with these other consumer level things. So I say all that to say this. We're gonna set up right now an S3 storage bucket, and we're gonna connect that to FileCloud, which is fully supported. So here in AWS, let's set up our S3 bucket. It's actually not too crazy, but it will involve two things. First, we're gonna set up an S3 bucket, as you probably guessed. And then we'll set up an IAM user for FileCloud to access that bucket. An IAM is Amazon's Identity Access Management. Sounds scary, it's not. Let's do it real quick. First, our bucket. For S3, we're gonna go up to Services, the top left here, and then we'll scroll down just a bit on the side until we see Storage, right here. Go ahead and click on that. And for us right now, we care about S3. Click on S3. And this is actually pretty simple. First, we'll just create a bucket. Click on Create a Bucket. The more I say that, the more I like that they called it a bucket. We'll name it something. For region, let's keep it in the same region we created our EC2, which for me was US East 1. And then from there, that's pretty much all we need to worry about. We're not gonna open this up to the public, keep it all default, all protected and safe. And finally, down here at the bottom, we'll click on Create, Create Bucket. We got our bucket, time for the IAM user. From here, we'll click on the search bar. We're gonna search for it real quick. Just search for IAM, and there it is right there. By the way, you can use the search bar as much as you want for all the things we've been doing so far. So click on IAM. It took me out of dark mode. Okay. Thanks a lot, AWS. And here we're gonna focus on one thing, creating a new user account. So on the left here, we have account management or access management, and we have users. Click on users. And then over here on the bottom right, we'll click on add users. I'll name this Hackwell FileCloud. Click on next once more, and we'll click on create user at the bottom. We're done. Not yet though. We have one more thing. We have to give that user account permissions to be able to interact and use the S3 bucket. So find your user account in our list right here. There's mine right there. I'm gonna click on that. And here in the middle, we have our permission policies. On the right, we have add permissions. Go ahead and click on that and click on create inline policy. Now this will be really simple because all we're gonna do is copy and paste. First, we're gonna go back to our FileCloud portal. And remember previously when we clicked on download here and we chose AWS and it opened up a new document here for us to look at? Here, they're gonna have some fun stuff for us. If you scroll down just a bit, you'll see the table of contents and we'll wanna click on the last option, which is post install. Expand that. And then there'll be a link right in the middle, setting up FileCloud Manage S3 storage. Click on that. Whew, a lot of clicking. And we're almost there. We're actually gonna do all three of these options, but we're gonna do number 2 first, which sounds very counterintuitive. I know, just stick with me here. Click on change credentials or configure credentials. And then right here where it says under S3 key, we have the following permissions. Click on that. Here, we have some delicious JSON. Starting with that opening bracket, we wanna copy all of it until the closing bracket, or curly brace rather. Copy that, go back to your AWS console where we were configuring our policy, and we're gonna click on JSON. So right now we have the visual editor selected. We're gonna click on JSON instead. We're gonna Control A and then Control V, pasting all our delicious JSON. Everything looks good there. Click on review policy at the bottom right. We'll name it real quick, and then click on create policy. And now our user account, which mine was Hackwell_FileCloud, he has permissions to mess with our S3 buckets. So back in our FileCloud dashboard, we have one goal here, and that's to change from using the EBS storage in Amazon, which is just our hard disk, our drive for the virtual machine, change from using that to using Amazon's S3 file storage. Now for this, we do have to get a little under the hood and mess with command line, which is kind of fun. So let's just do it real quick. It's not gonna be crazy. But first I'll show you what we're changing. Here on the left, if we scroll down just a little bit, we'll have settings. And then we'll click on settings. Go ahead and close that tutorial. And what we want to click on right now is the storage section in our settings, right here. Notice here in our storage settings, we can change the location of where we store our FileCloud settings, but I don't see anything about S3, and that's because we have to enable. And for that, we got to go to the command line. So let's get back to AWS. This won't be scary. Trust me, it won't be scary. If we get back to our EC2 instance, which if you go back to your EC2 service, you'll be able to get there pretty quick. Let's just go ahead and open the settings here. On the right, you'll see the option for actions and then connect, because we want to connect to it. So click on connect. And I love this because right here at the very bottom, they have an example of a command you can use to automatically connect to your box with the key you downloaded if you just created that. So I'm going to copy this command. I'm going to launch my terminal here, and I'm going to change my directory real quick to the downloads folder. That's where I have my key stored. I just downloaded it. And that's probably where you have yours too. So I'll do cd downloads, and then I'll simply paste that command. And all this is doing is connecting to our server via SSH using our key. And it's not gonna ask us for a password. It's gonna be pretty sick. Ready? Go. Accept all fingerprints, yes sir. And we're in. And here we're gonna edit one file. So with me right now, type in sudo, then we're gonna use nano, because nano is the best text editor in Linux, period. Just is. And then we're gonna edit this file. It'll be /var, /www, /html, /config, /cloudconfig.php. Hit enter, and we're gonna change one thing here. I'm gonna scroll down pretty much towards the bottom of this file until I see this. Define Tornado Cloud storage implementation. Right now it says local. We don't want that. We want it to say Amazon S3, and that's what we're gonna do. Gonna move my cursor on over, delete local, and say Amazon S3. And that's it. We'll hit Control X, Y, enter to save, and that should be all we have to do. And then one more thing, we're just gonna copy a file. That's all we have to do. We're gonna type in sudo once more. We're gonna use the CP command for copy. And we'll copy this file, var www html config Amazon S3 storage config-sample.php. And we're gonna copy that file to the same location. Just gonna paste that in, but we're gonna remove the sample and the dash. So where it looks just like this, Amazon S3 storage config.php. We're not gonna change that file, we just need to create a copy of it, hit enter, and we got it. Now looking back at our storage settings, it looks a little bit different. We have S3 options now. Let's configure it. So our first two options, S3 key and S3 secret. Let's get that. We're gonna go back to our IAM management console, jump into our user account we created, which for me was Hackwell_FileCloud, and we'll see over here in the menu options, right here in the middle kind of, is security credentials. Go ahead and click on that. If you scroll down just a bit, you'll see a section called access keys. We want to create one of those. So click on create access key. From here, we're going to click on the little radio button for third-party service, click on I understand, and click on next. Describe it, FileCloud. And then we'll click on create access key. Done. So now this information right here is what we need. First, I'll get the access key. I'll copy that, go over to FileCloud and paste that right here where it says S3 key. Paste. Then we'll grab the secret access key. It's a secret. Click on copy. It's copied. We'll paste it here and the secret. For bucket name, whatever your bucket name was. Mine was Hackwell Bucket. Everything else is optional. We'll click on Save S3 Settings. Click on OK. Settings verified. We're good to go. We are now using Amazon S3 as our storage for FileCloud, which is pretty sick. So if you did this, that's amazing because that was, yeah, you gotta be honest, it's kind of complex. Right now we're using Amazon as our cloud storage provider on the back end. FileCloud is kind of our front end and it's amazing. So let's test it real quick. Let's create a new user. Kind of our first thing to do in FileCloud. Let's go to users on the left here, under users and groups, click on add a user. It's all pretty basic stuff. For authentication, notice we have default authentication selected by default, but you could change it to Active Directory or LDAP. You can integrate with anything pretty much. Let's put a little user in. I'll say Chuck, a little bit of password here, email address, and click on create. Now let's just grab our URL for FileCloud. I'll open up an incognito window. I'll get logged in with my new user, and here we go. My own personal cloud, just like that. First of all, it's already here, it's already happening. Let me add a file. I'm gonna go to my files. I'll just drag and drop something. I'll drag and drop a Dropbox picture. Perfect, it's there. Now what I wanted to show you is let's go to Amazon S3 real quick, and let's see if we have any new objects in our bucket. Look at that. We have an object, one I just uploaded. Now, one more thing you may want to do for Amazon S3 settings. So here in FileCloud, in our storage, if we scroll down just a bit, we'll see a button that says, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, right here. We have S3 encryption in manage. We can enable Amazon S3 encryption, which will encrypt our data at rest and in transit between Amazon S3 and FileCloud, our FileCloud server. I'll leave the default option here, and I'll click on Enable Encryption, keeping in mind that it will encrypt everything currently in there. So it's best to do this like to begin with. Click on OK, and we're good. All existing files and new files will be encrypted using AES-256. Okay. Sorry, I squeaked a bit there at the end. I feel pretty accomplished right now. That was pretty cool. Now at this point, you do have FileCloud set up in AWS using S3 storage, but there's probably a few more things you'll want to do, like using your own domain name, setting up a legit SSL certificate. We're going to cover that here in a moment. In fact, I'll put a timestamp, jump to that real quick if you want to just do that right now. But now I'm going to get into hosting this yourself on-prem. Now, once you have your FileCloud CE account set up, which I covered just earlier, installing on-prem is pretty easy. And I'll show you a few different options. So here we have the option to download our server. I'll click on download. Clicking on any of these options will show you how to do it. I'll show you real quick how to do the Docker installation, the Linux install, and for a really quick way to do this, just download the OVF. And actually I think Docker is faster, but you can download a virtual machine image. They can just load up in VirtualBox, it's already ready to go. And then Windows, I'm not really gonna show you that because that's kind of self-explanatory. All you gotta do is download an MSI installer and just go from there. It'll do it for you. So let's knock out the easy one first, Docker. Click on Docker. Really, just a few commands you can copy and paste yourself. So here on my Linux server, or it could be your Linux computer, cloud too, wherever. Let's first make sure we have Docker and Docker Compose installed. So we'll do a little sudo apt update, make sure our repositories are up to date, and then we'll do a sudo apt install docker.io docker-compose-y. Just like this, hit enter, little coffee break, it'll do its thing. If you have no idea what Docker is, check it out. I got a video somewhere explaining what it is. It's amazing, you're gonna have a great time. But you don't have to know what Docker is to run this. It's already installed, cool. Now we're gonna do a couple things. First, we're gonna use this wget command here they have for us. Pull down their Docker Compose file. We'll just paste that in there. It pulled down the file, if I do an ls, there's our Docker Compose file. And then it wants us to pull all 4 FileCloud images, which takes a long time, especially for the community version, the FileCloud Solar image. So we're not gonna pull that. And we also don't need FileCloud Preview. So all we'll do is copy the command up until FileCloud Preview. We'll stop at MongoDB, which is their database. We'll copy that, go back to our command prompt, clean it up a little bit, type in sudo, paste that command, and let the party start. This could take a minute, so just take a little coffee break. Also keep in mind that Docker, they recommend only for training and testing, and it's not optimized for production servers. Now, does that mean you can't use it in your home lab? Not at all, you probably just use that all the time, it's fine. But if you run into issues, that's probably why. Okay, that actually wasn't that long. If we do a sudo docker ps, it's running, it's going. So let's see if it works. Grab your IP address, navigate on out to the IP address, /admin. Actually, no, let's do a /install to make sure it's all healthy. This will do some checks to make sure it installed correctly, everything's running. It totally is, that's awesome. Now let's go to /admin. We'll log in with admin and super secure password, all lowercase. And we are in. So now the last thing we have to worry about is the license file, which looking at our FileCloud portal, just under where we downloaded, we can say get our license, click get license, and it will download for us just like that. Notice it did download there. Getting back to our server, we'll just say choose file, pick that license file, apply it, and we're good to go. Now there are a lot of things we gotta do to set this up. We'll continue that here in a moment. If you wanna jump straight there, go ahead. Now I'm gonna cover the Linux install real quick. So to install directly onto Linux, we'll click on our Linux x86-64 Ubuntu deb package. It'll take us to a place where we can install it directly from our repository, which is fantastic. Now, I do highly recommend you go with their recommended server OS, and that's Ubuntu 2004 LTS. Just do that, it'll save you a headache, trust me. So go ahead and click on that, and it's simply a matter of adding some repositories, updating your repositories, and installing it. Like that, it's that simple, so let's do it real quick. We're gonna copy all these commands right here in step 1, adding all the repos, and we'll paste that here. It's gonna update our repos, done. And then we're going to install the Apache and MongoDB servers. And actually, I'm just gonna do the first 2 commands. We'll paste those here. And then I'm gonna grab the command down here that'll automatically accept the EULA and install hands-free. Paste that command, give it just a little bit of time, quick coffee break. Now throughout the install, you may hit things like this. And I always say install the package maintainers version. It's kind of annoying. Just go through it. There's not too many, but just enough to be annoying. Then right here, I'm just gonna say Y enter. One more time, I think it was last time. No, one more, stop it. Okay, I think that's done. Now that should be it. Let's just make sure it's working. We'll do an ss-tulpen. I do see ports open, that's a good sign. I'm gonna grab that IP address and navigate out there to see if it's working. Type in the IP address, we'll go to /install and make sure everything's good. Dude, things are looking great. If you get the screen, you did a good job. And if you see all blue check marks, you also did a great job. So now we can go to /admin after the IP address instead, get logged in with the super secret password and username of admin, then password, all lowercase.
That's the stupidest combination I ever heard in my life!
We're in, but we need a license file. Getting back to our FileCloud portal, just click on get your license and it will download the license for you. Just downloaded mine, I'll choose it, apply it, we're good to go. Kind of. We'll ignore all those messages on the side. And then finally, if you wanna set up your FileCloud, just with the virtual machine image, it's super simple. You download it, you spin it up in VirtualBox or ESXi or whatever. It's just pre-baked. And you follow the steps I mentioned previously. Go to the install URL and make sure everything's good. Then go to admin, load your file. If you're like, I skipped those parts, well, just go back and watch that last part. You'll get it. Now I did mention that all you need to replace the triad is a computer and an external hard drive. And you'll want to do that because right now, my server here doesn't have much storage. He's got like 50 gigs or something like that. What I want to use is an external hard drive. But how do we do that? Let's set that up real quick, it's not too bad. And this will be specific to Linux. Now I do recommend you start out with a blank hard drive. completely clean, because we are gonna format it. So I'm gonna grab this guy, plug him into my computer, my Linux server. So first I'll type in the command ls usb for list USB. And I can tell right there's my Western Digital right there. I know he's plugged in. Now I'm gonna type in lsblk, and I can see right here, SDB1 is how he's identified on my Linux machine. And I can tell like he's got 1.8 terabytes right there. Perfect. Now I'm gonna double check and make sure he's not mounted. I'm gonna type in mount, and I'll just do let's do a mount pipe grep for SDB1. Nothing, so he's not mounted. We're good to go there. Now we have to format our hard drive. Keeping in mind this will erase everything, hope you know that. One command, super easy. Sudo mkfs, we'll do a -t, and then ext4. This is the ext4 file system. It's, I think, the best. You can try other options, but for simplicity, let's try this. And then we'll specify our drive, which will be in the dev location on your Linux file system, and then SDB1 for me, whatever you had when you did lsblk, put it there. Go ahead and do it. Ready, set, go. It'll take a minute, so just a little coffee break. Formatting is complete. Now we can mount our drive. So real quick, I'm gonna make a new directory. I'm gonna say mkdir /mnt/FileCloud. That's my new directory. I'm gonna check the permissions in that directory real quick by typing in ll and then the directory. And I can see right here that we'll need to allow some permissions for our users, according to this stuff right here. But we're gonna do this real quick. Command will be sudo chmod. We'll do u for users, plus rw for read and write, and then that new directory we just created. Mount or mnt FileCloud. Done. Looks good so far. So now we can mount our drive, our external drive, and it's really simple to do that. It'll be sudo mount. We'll specify our drive, which was dev SDB1 for me, and then we'll specify where we want to mount it in the file system, which for us, we created a folder for that already. /mnt/FileCloud. It's mounted. If we type in mount, we can check that out real quick. There it is. This video has so much stuff. I hope you're having fun. Let's check our file permissions real quick for that folder once more. We'll do ll/mnt/FileCloud, make sure everything's good. Looks like we need some work actually, because the Apache service will need to be able to read and write to this directory. So let's change the permissions real quick once more. We'll do sudo chmod. For simplicity, let's do A for everybody, plus read write, and then we'll specify our directory mt FileCloud. Actually, let's step back real quick. Let's go back to the beginning of chmod, and we'll do a -r, ~R for recursive. Let's add that real quick. Check our permissions once more. Things look a lot better. So now here in FileCloud, for our storage path, let's change it real quick. We'll do /mnt/FileCloud, where I have my external drive mounted. I'll check the path. Looks good. Awesome. Click on save. And now we've successfully mounted and are using an external hard drive with FileCloud. Felt like a lot, kind of was a lot, but that's awesome. Now there's two more things I want to show you with FileCloud, two more things we want to set up to make it a bit better. First, I want to get a domain name and SSL set up. And second, I want to show you real quick how we can add a user, set up our phone and everything with FileCloud. And the coolest feature by far, mounting a network share like you're there, like you're anywhere. Like you can go anywhere and have this network share mounted. It's so cool. Now this first tutorial is specific to AWS, or if you're just hosting FileCloud externally in some other cloud that's publicly accessible. It has a public IP address. We want to get that sucker a domain name and enable SSL. Now for that, I'm going to assume that you already have a domain name. And if you don't already have one, I've got other videos that'll show you how to get a domain name pretty cheaply and pretty awesomely. And you're gonna wanna set that up with Cloudflare. These are two prerequisites I'm not gonna walk you through. So buy a domain name and set that domain name up with Cloudflare using it as your name server. Again, I've got videos somewhere around here floating around that'll show you exactly how to do that. Now we'll start with our config in Cloudflare. Here in Cloudflare, we're gonna go to the DNS settings of our domain, go to records, and we're going to add a new record. This will be a subdomain, meaning it's gonna be networkchuck.com, but it'll have something before it. So files.networkchuck.com. I'm gonna call it Hackwell Files. And then we'll point that domain to our IP address in Amazon or Linode or wherever you're hosting your FileCloud server. So I'll go back to AWS, grab that public IPv4 address right here, copy, and paste that right here. I'll keep the proxy status enabled, and I'll click save. So now hackwellfiles.networkchuck.com will forward to my FileCloud server, but that's just half the story. We now need to set up our FileCloud server to believe that's its new name. That's where you can find it. Now I do have a link to FileCloud's guide below, but I wanna walk you through it real quick. First, we'll create a CSR request for FileCloud. Now, if you've never done something like this, getting a certificate signed for SSL, it's pretty cool to walk through this and learn it right now. I struggled with this so much in the beginning of my career. I'm like, CSR, SSL, what is that? To know this now is so powerful. So anyways, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use this command right here, which is OpenSSL, to generate a CSR. You do wanna be logged into your Amazon EC2 instance, the terminal, to run these commands. I'm gonna paste that right now, OpenSSL, let's go. It's gonna ask you to do some things like, where do you live? US, the country code, state, Texas, city, Dallas, company, Hackwell. Now for common name, this is where you wanna put your URL. So it'll be Hackwell, what did I call it again? I don't even remember. Oh, Hackwell Files. Hackwell Files.networkchuck.com. That'll be your common name, your CN. Email address, I'm not gonna do a password, keep going, and it's done. Now here, if you type in LS, you should see a server CSR and a server key created. That CSR, we want that sucker. We're gonna cat that server file real quick. Type in cat server.csr. There's our certificate request right there. Leave that there, we'll come back in a minute. Let's go to Cloudflare. Here, I'm gonna navigate over to the SSL TLS section on the left and go to Origin Server. Here, I'm gonna get my certificate signed by Cloudflare, and then I'm gonna download that. So I'll say create certificate. I'm gonna say use my private key in CSR. Right here is where we'll paste our certificate. If we get back to our terminal here, we're gonna grab this, copy it, paste it right here. Now here for host names, I'm just gonna be very specific and say file Hackwell files.networkchuck.com, and then click create. Now leave that page there. We're gonna step forward into the next steps on our terminal. I know this is kind of involved, and other solutions are kind of automatic, but it's fun to learn this manually. It is. So first thing we'll do is we'll use the A2E nmod command to enable SSL in Apache. So we'll copy that command, go to our Ubuntu, paste it there, done. Next step. Now getting back to Cloudflare, we're gonna grab this certificate file, or this text, we're just gonna copy it. Get back to our terminal and we're gonna make a new file real quick. I'm gonna say nano server.crt. We'll paste that certificate in there. Control X, Y, enter to save. Good to go. And then we're gonna copy and paste these commands to make a new directory in Apache. We'll paste that first one. We'll copy our certificate to that folder, and then we'll copy our server key, our private key, to that folder. And then one last thing, we gotta modify our web server config in Apache to use this new certificate. So the file location is here. Just gonna grab that. I'm gonna type in nano, edit that file. I'm gonna do a sudo before that just in case. We're gonna change our virtual host right here from 80 to 443. And then just under document root, we're gonna add server name, and then put in the server name that you set up. Mine was Hackwell files.networkchuck.com. And then just under that, we're gonna copy the SSL engine on paragraph right here. Paste that right there. Make sure everything's lined up nice and neat. Then we'll hit Control X, Y, enter to save, and that should be it. All we'll have to do now is restart Apache, which I'll just copy and paste that command, and we should be good. So now, in theory, I should be able to go out to Hackwell files.networkchuck.com, and that should take me right to my FileCloud server, SSL and everything, and it totally did. That's awesome. I'm gonna get logged into the admins once more. And there's one thing I wanna change. It says invalid server URL. You wanna change that because it's important as you share your files and everything, they'll have an URL that people can access it with. And if it's like 127.0.0.1, that's not gonna be great. So let's change that real quick. We're gonna go to settings here, and here under server URL, we're just gonna change it to HTTPS hackwellfiles.networkchuck.com. It's gonna check it, make sure it's all good, server's valid, save. Now before I show you the awesome network share feature, I'm sure you're wondering, hey Chuck, I did an on-prem install. How do I handle SSL and Cloudflare and all that? I would recommend using Cloudflare tunnels. It's called Cloudflared, and I have a video right here of how to set that up for any service within your home. It basically allows you to open up a very secure tunnel into your house through your firewall and access all your stuff anywhere. Easily do that here with FileCloud. I'm not gonna walk through it right now because this video is getting so long, but it's not very, very crazy different from what we've been doing here. Now, let me show you real quick this cool server share thing. So first I'm gonna set up a new user. This can apply to anybody, anywhere, whatever installation method you used. I wanna set up a new user. I already had one for Chuck. I'm gonna add a new one. Add, I'll say Bernard, and I'll create that user. Awesome. Now I'll open up a new incognito tab, log in. hackwellfiles.networkchuck.com. It's so cool, this works flawlessly. Get logged in as Bernard. Bam, I'm a new user, I got my own cloud, ready to go. Now I can use FileCloud for my web browser anywhere all the time, and it's amazing. But the apps are what make it shine. So here on my dashboard, I have the option to install mobile and desktop apps right here. I'm gonna click on that. Now here we have a few options. This first one, FileCloud Sync, is what you would see for most cloud drive things. It'll store your files both on your computer and remotely, and they'll sync back and forth. Pretty cool. But the drive is what's really neat. Let's try that out now. So I'm gonna click Drive, and I'll download this for Windows. I'll launch it, install it. You know how installations work. Pretty basic. I'll restart later, no big deal. And I'll launch my FileCloud drive. It's kind of hard to say, FileCloud. Let's get started. I'll put in my information, so my server's already been set up. I'll log in. You can set a download limit, which is cool. And then you choose your mount. So I'll mount it as, let's just say L. And bam, I'm done. Start using Drive. So it gave me a little recent activity of how it mounted, and it's mounted. So check this out. Take a file here, put it in my files. It's there, and here in my drive, map drive, there it is. Now what's cool about this is I can actually share it from here. I'll right click that, click on more options, FileCloud, share link. I can just change my share options right here within my stinking File Explorer. That's pretty cool. I can say expires tomorrow. I can restrict it to one download. Let's do 2 downloads. And then I'll do a password. And then I'll copy that link. I'll get email notifications when people use it. Let's test that out real quick. There's the password. Download the file. So that feature, I don't see anyone else doing. It's pretty cool. So FileCloud Community Edition, you're gonna have a great time. It's really fun. Set this up and let me know how it went for you. Comment below. And also, if you're a business or maybe you're thinking about pitching a new file solution to your company, the enterprise features are what kind of set FileCloud apart from everybody else. Like I said, educational institutions, financial, government, all that kind of stuff, they use this to manage their data. It's like here in governance, which is a very scary word. You can pretty much do anything you want with your data. Monitor every bit. Like you can do legal holds, data leak protection. You can classify your content. You can put in retention policies, smart DLP, an entire compliance center for GDPR, HIPAA, ITAR, there's all kinds of stuff. You can do workflows, if this, then that, on files. I mean, look at the triggers I have for these workflows. If the file is downloaded, if a comment is added, all these things. I mean, every little thing you can control, and that's killer for a business and an enterprise. Not to mention you can integrate it with everything. Active Directory, single sign-on. You can implement antivirus scanning on all your data. I mean, looking at the third-party integrations, you can of course, antivirus, Salesforce, Seam, reCAPTCHA, McAfee, Microsoft Teams. You can even enable it to edit your files in Microsoft Office. Like if you're in the portal, just auto open. Now that was FileCloud, and I'm now realizing that this video is so super long because there was a lot we had to cover. And I think FileCloud is amazing because they focus on one thing and they do it great, and that's just file sharing and data security. And they do that for enterprises and they can do it for you in your house. That's pretty cool. So that's the enterprise solution. Now let's move on to more of the home lab open source solution, and that's NextCloud. Now NextCloud is pretty popular already. You've probably already heard of NextCloud. And setting it up is not too bad. Now, my favorite way to install NextCloud is through Docker. They make it really easy. And you can find NextCloud in a lot of places, by the way. You can run it on your Synology NAS, you can integrate it with TrueNAS. So it really is a great home lab solution. So let's try the Docker install real quick. Now, NextCloud can only be installed on Linux-based systems. Again, FileCloud is the only one I know of that can go on Windows. So real quick in Linux, we need Docker. Let's install it, make sure we have it. We'll do a sudo apt update, not update, update. There we go. And then we'll do a sudo apt install docker.io -y. Now we go grab their Docker command. We just copy and paste this code. It's a simple Docker run command. Paste it and run. It's gonna pull all the necessary images, doing its thing, and that's it. Go to HTTPS, your IP address or your domain name, whatever it is, port 8080. From here, you got a weird password thing. You wanna copy this little phrase here, kebab maturity. Paste that password in there for the NextCloud AIO login. And by the way, the reason you can't do anything else here is because they didn't do a -d for running it as a daemon for Docker by default. It's kind of annoying. Now, depending on your setup, you may want to do a reverse proxy and refer to the reverse proxy documentation. I'm not going to refer to that here, again, because my video is already so stinking long. But right now, I'm running this on Linode, and Linode's already public. And I'm just going to use the reverse DNS address I have for Linode. I'll submit that as the URL. Now, NextCloud is pretty cool because they have a ton of features, like almost too many. So they integrate with NextCloud Office. They call it Collabora. You can do NextCloud Talk. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do the Office thing either. Turn that off. Save changes, and then I'll download and start the containers. It's kind of weird how they do it, where it's like you install the installer as a Docker container, and then and then the Docker container installs the other Docker containers. It's really strange, right? So that's what it's doing right now. We'll wait. Okay, it's almost there. The yellow means they're starting, so we're gonna wait for that to finish. Now also while we're waiting, the other cool part about Nextcloud is you can install it on pretty much anything, including a Raspberry Pi. They have Nextcloud Pi, which will work pretty well. Now it won't be blazing fast, but it does its thing. Now also one thing you'll want to note with Nextcloud as I'm watching this start up is that it's a very like online service, meaning it needs to have an internet connection pretty much all the time to work. If you wanna like keep it closed off on your network without any connection, I don't think it works well with that. I could be wrong, but I was reading some documentation and that's what I found. But anyways, it looks like mine is done. There's my admin username and then password. I'm gonna copy this password real quick. I'll click on open my Nextcloud. Let's get logged in. Get a nice little graphic meeting. This is pretty neat. And notice they try to be everything, right? You can like have a contacts and calendar and do notes, and you've got tasks. Like, I like what they're trying to do, but also I hate it because it's like, I just want to manage my files and you're making this really complex, but files they can manage. And much like FileCloud, they have apps for everything, and they do have a drive thing, but they don't do that mapped drive thing, which I love. Now, one of the big differences between Nextcloud and FileCloud will be the limitations. Nextcloud being an open source solution and much more targeted toward home users, they pretty much give you everything, all the features. So unlimited users, you can add a bunch of apps. Like, let me see all the apps you can add, all the integrations. It's pretty cool. And if you're a tinkerer and you love to just add a bunch of things to your stuff and troubleshoot things for a while, this will be fun. And with FileCloud, you're not gonna see all that. FileCloud, you actually have a limitation of 5 users. So if you're gonna be doing more than 5, Nextcloud might be the solution for you. Unless you're a business, then you may wanna really consider FileCloud. Now, Nextcloud does have similar sharing features. When I wanna share a link, I can control, like, can they edit it? I can hide the download, but I can't limit the download. But I can do things like password protect and set expiration dates. Even a little note, hi buddy. So pretty much the same as FileCloud, but you can't limit the downloads, which I don't think anybody else does. So I know this video has probably been so long, I'm exhausted. I've been recording for hours, but I hope I encourage you to possibly kick the triad to the curb. Now, I still use Google Drive and I use Dropbox. I use them as backup. For me, I'm comfortable with that decision because I like my data being everywhere. I don't care if they have my videos. I make those public anyway. I just want them backed up in as many places as possible, so I use a little bit of everything. But now for personal things, no, I don't put everything up there. I like control of that. So for you, you may want to be very much in control of your personal data. If you're a company, even more so, because you may have a ton of regulations where you can't put your stuff up there. So you have to have that control. So solutions like FileCloud specifically can help you with the business side of things. And if you're a person who has that business level of security and fantastic file sharing, FileCloud will be for you. And if you're more of a fan of open source, you like a product that does a lot, Nextcloud is really fun too. So I'll leave it up to you, whichever one you think, but I just want to make sure you guys know there's an option besides going with the triad. It does require a bit of IT knowledge, a bit of tinkering, but we covered that here in this video. And please let me know in the comments what you think. What do you use for file sharing? How do you keep your stuff safe? That's all I got. I'll catch you guys next time.